What's up, my fellow hustlers? We're back with another episode 23.
Let's go.
It's going by fast, having a blast. Hey, we apologize for last week. We got kind of busy, didn't have an episode out there. We feel bad for the hustlers, but we're back. We promise we're here and we're here to stay.
It won't happen again.
It won't happen again. We're going to do our best. We're going to hustle through it. Well, today for episode 23, I have a good friend of mine, Brakenden King Killa, Freeman. Now, super athletic guy. His name, it says it, a King Killa. You have a fight going on this Friday in Tulsa, Oklahoma for XFN.
Yes.
Brakenden, first off, how are you doing today?
I feel really good. Like I said, I'm cutting weight today. The weight cuts went tremendous. Probably one of my best weight cuts, a couple more pounds. So I feel good. I feel energetic. My cardio feels tremendous. So I'm ready to go out there and put on a performance, get a finish.
Perfect.
That's awesome, man. And you said it's in Tulsa, right?
Yes, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Is it a 5-round fight, 3-round fight? What is it?
Yes, this will be a 5-round kickboxing title fight.
Okay.
Yes, and so this won't be my first 5-rounder. And I think the cool thing is I'm used to MMA, and so each MMA fight's about 3 5-minute rounds, and so it's 15 minutes altogether. And so now it's just 5 3-minute rounds. So it's still 15 minutes, and to me it's shorter duration, so I'm able to get that output out there. Yeah, go harder.
Good,
Perfect. And what made you when you got into this? What was the inspiration? What was the drive to get into fighting?
Well, me and my brother were a huge fan of the WWE growing up, and so I was really at my mom's house growing up, and I was just trying to watch some kind of wrestling, some kind of WWE. We didn't watch too much wrestling at my mom's, but I ran into a fight between Anderson Silva and Rich Franklin.
Oh, the GOAT.
Yes, and so I just seen how he was handling Rich Franklin. I was like, I want to do that. I like to fight. I want to do that. And my stepdad at the moment came in. He was like, well, if you want to do MMA, let's get you into wrestling. So I started wrestling from that point on when I was 12 years old, and I continued wrestling because I was very good at it. And I want to say around 18 or 19 years old, that's when I started kickboxing. I started watching some videos on YouTube and Mortal Kombat, and my sisters were helping me hold the pad and kick stuff. And then from then on, I did a lot of kickboxing tournaments, and I went undefeated. I was very good. And so after that, I kind of caught the eye of a couple of organizations in Oklahoma. That's why it's cool. I'm returning to Oklahoma. That's where I started. And so I caught a couple of organizations, and I was like, well, yeah, I'll do MMA. And then I ended up starting MMA. When I was 19 years old, I made my amateur MMA debut. Yeah. Got the TKO in the second round, and it's been history ever since.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
That's awesome, man. And that's good. It's hard work, too.
Yes.
I keep up with a lot of MMA and stuff, and the weight cuts, the meal plans, the diet.
Yes.
It's crazy dedication that you have to have for all that. What keeps you going with all that? Because it's hard work. So what makes you want to keep going and keep pushing harder and get better and better?
Definitely family. Definitely the family and the friends and the fans that support you. I really think people don't understand it as a fighter. I'm like, dude, the random strangers that'll send you a message and just say, hey, I support you. I hope you keep going, win, lose, or draw. Like, even after a loss, they're like, hey, you inspire me. I hope you keep doing this. That really helps. But also, like I said, the family. I really want to see my baby in a better position, my sisters, my mothers. So I know that, of course, with fighting, this is something I can do. I have a knack for this. I know I have a talent and a certain mindset for this.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, if I'm able to continue doing this, I will reach that level of success where I can take care of my family and make sure they're set.
Absolutely.
So. That was my next question. Your goal is what? The UFC?
Yes.
PFL, UFC? What?
Anything like that. Whatever is the next step that's going to help me. It's going to, elevate me and it's best for my career.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I still feel young. I'm 27.
Okay.
And so I still know I have a lot of time. I think that was my problem earlier in my career, is that I just really wanted to just get almost just launched into these situations.
Absolutely.
Whereas now I'm like, okay, I know what I can do.
Yeah.
Take my time, just pick at it, and then get better as these fights go along until you get to that big stage where you're getting the big money, the big views.
Of course.
But at that point, you're already at the point where you're able to compete with these guys and get to that point.
Well, it's good to know the inspiration that you have behind it.
Yes.
And I've kept up with your journey, and I've had the opportunity and the honor of interviewing you multiple times before your fights, and that's my favorite thing to do, is to really see where your mind's at and to ask you now. Let's get started first. We want to know. We got to ask. What's the record for you?
Well, my record for
what's your record right now?
My fight record. Well, if you're going to go pro, my pro record is 3-3. Kickboxing, I'm 7-0, undefeated in kickboxing.
Nice.
And
Awesome.
then also as an amateur, I went 5-0, and I was ranked second in the nation as an amateur in MMA. And now, like I said, I've learned so much, and you got to love those losses. You know, I think that's the best thing about MMA. You have to love those losses. When you get those losses, you learn so much. I get inspired after a win, but you know how it is. After a good win, you want to go hang out with the friends, you know, chill, eat some food, drink, you know, celebrate. And after a loss, I feel like it's different for your mentality, and it kind of helps you more, not just in the fighting game, but in life. You know, because you just still have to wake up the next day and still make those steps to get better and make sure that whatever happened, whatever mistake you made, you know, maybe that guy was better that day, but make sure you're going to be better than whoever you fight next the next time you fight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Yes.
Those losses
Yeah.
make you think and
I love
kind of get you back on track to
Yes.
look at the things that you need to fix. For
Yeah.
sure. And I was gonna ask you, where did you grow up? What's your background like?
So I grew up in Amarillo, Texas. I grew up in the Hamlet area. I also bounced back and forth around the age of 8 between Borger and Amarillo. But I was in Amarillo. I lived with my mother, and around the age of 13, she married and she moved to the south side of town.
Okay.
But I grew up on the north side of town, the majority of. So I guess it's kind of cool. I moved a lot. My high school was the first school I went to for more than 2 years. So every other school, I was just moving around a lot.
Yeah.
But I guess that kind of helps me now because I have so many fans from everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I can talk to anyone about fighting, and everyone knows me from this school or that school. And so that's where I started off. That's where I grew up. But I still reside in Amarillo, Texas. I still train here. Of course, I cross-train every now and then to other cities, but I live in Amarillo. I really believe in it. Even right now, I was just talking to my coaches about it. I'm like, look at how many champions we have, and then this fight on Peak, October 19th, look how many Amarillo fighters are fighting for belts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like finally, because I've always believed in Amarillo. Everyone's like, if you move away from Amarillo, you know, you'll have a good opportunity. And I'm like, but I just feel like Amarillo has that
Yeah.
it. You know, we have those fighters that have the talent, you know, the motivation, the skill to get there. And now we're starting
Absolutely.
to see it with Jonathan Martinez, even in Lubbock.
Yeah,
you
dude,
know.
he's a killer.
He's killing it. You know,
His leg kicks.
Yes.
I
Yes,
saw
a
him
lot
the
of
other
leg
day.
kick. So that's what I'm talking about. We have a lot of dogs, I feel.
Have you
out there.
trained with him?
No, maybe I have. I can't remember. I went down to their camp. It was a couple of years ago. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was there. I don't think he was sparring. I have sparred a couple guys from that camp.
Yeah.
But for my future MMA camps, I do want to go cross train with those guys
Yeah.
because they really are cool. They're friendly. We go down there.
Yeah.
They're always nice. And like you got UFC caliber guys. Why would you not
man.
want to go down there and pick their mind a
Absolutely.
little bit? So
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, you know, so back to what I was saying earlier is what, you know, I like to ask where your mind is, and then we talk about the camp, right?
Yes.
When it comes time to those fights, I mean, mentally, you have to really be strict on your diet. You're working out. You're being, I mean, that's your focus, right? Let me ask you about that though. Whenever you first got into this and you started preparing for fights, right?
Yes.
And you were saying earlier, you know, you usually diet on the regular, but once it came time to not only diet but add a little more and more to that routine, how was that transition for you, and how does it go? How does that process work when you start your camps, you start training? How does that look from start to finish?
Well, in all honesty, I know my body pretty well. Like I said, I started wrestling at 12. In wrestling, you have to cut weight. And so I'm blessed enough to know my body and to know what I can eat around this week, what I can't eat, how much water I can intake, and how much I'm going to sweat out during this workout, that workout, what I need to wear, how long I need to sit in the sauna. And it's been pretty consistent as I've grown. I'm kind of blessed with that metabolism. I know some guys are like, it's harder to cut the older you get. But right now, I'm not at that point. And so when I get into that zone, I really don't focus on the cut as much. And in all honesty, I just focus on my skills. What I need to do, first things first, cardio. I want to make sure I'm in the best shape for whatever fight I'm going into, whether it's a championship fight, a normal fight. I want to make sure I train twice as much as the duration. So if it's a 15-minute fight, I want to be in shape for a 30-minute fight. If it's a 25-minute fight, be in shape for an hour. Just go ahead and round it up. Don't be lazy. So I mean, like that's just kind of like I don't know. That's just kind of my mentality when I come into those fights.
Yeah.
It's not too hard, you know. I'm like, jog. If you have 30 minutes throughout the day, that's already half the job. Really, for me, I'm like, if you can just get 30 minutes to get out there and get your cardio better, cut 1 pound that day,
Yeah.
it's 30 minutes throughout the. Wake up early, 30 minutes earlier, go run. Every time I run around this park, I see this old lady with a stick. So it kind of inspires me because she's out there every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, no matter how tired I am, no matter how sore I am from the weight cut before, I go out there in my little maroon hoodie, and she's out there with her dog, just with a stick every day. She waves at me every single lap. So, you know, I'm like, if she can do it, you know, I better be out there before my camp. And so that's where I really start off with that discipline to wake up, do your cardio. Diet comes with it. When I come home after a workout, I don't want to eat something greasy anyways. I only crave the greasiness like 3 days before the weigh-in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, heading down there, I'm like passing all these restaurants. I'm like, God, some Long John Silver's or a burger right now. Like, would be perfect. But the good thing is, before then, when I'm usually getting to that zone, like, I don't crave it. I love salad. I love tuna and stuff. So.
Yeah. What's your favorite meal to eat while you're
easy
on the diet?
Easy. Rotisserie chicken and ranch.
And ranch,
it is perfect. But just, you know, I don't know if the ranch, I get light ranch. You know, if that helps with, you know, the diet. But just a bag, like a caveman or a barbarian. I get the bag, I just open it, get the ranch, and just in my little Frenchie dog's next to me, I throw her some bones. So I think she's spoiled because now she knows the sound of a rotisserie. I pulled out the bag and she runs in there. So I think she's used to the diet.
Yeah, well, that's awesome that you focus. Yeah. You know, your focus is you have your routines and things like you said. Number one, knowing your body and getting ready for that. Mm-hmm. But I've also not only had the opportunity to interview you, but I've been at the gyms whenever you're training, and those trainings are so intense. But what I really, really like about you, Bray, is you are always willing to coach, and you're always willing to teach even the young fighters, and you always have a smile on your face. You're just you're super nice. Yeah. I've known you. I was telling myself we've known each other since we were kids.
Yes.
So you've always been just super respectful, super well mannered. But when you get into that ring, it's a beast. It's a whole new ball game.
Killer.
So I want to ask that is like, once you step into that ring, the octagon or whatever kind of ring you're stepping in, what goes through your mind? Is it a switch that you just turn on?
The switch usually starts. So I want to say like before the fight, like as I'm doing the doctor work, they're examining me and stuff before everything. So at that point, I'm pretty cool. I'm talking to them. I'm texting everyone. I'm talking to my coaches. You know, I feel free. Now, as I get like 3 fights before mine, I put on the headphones. And then, you know, at that point, I'm still cognitive of what's going on outside. I'm still answering people and stuff. But at that point, I'm like, okay. But it's the fight before. As soon as I see the fight before and I'm back there, like, warming up in the stage and my coach is there, like, it kind of, like, gets quiet then. And I'm focusing and I'm listening. I'm still listening to the coaches, you know, 1, 2, you know, takedowns and stuff. And then when I'm coming to walk out, I hear my music. And then when I hear the music, I use the music. I love the music to kind of get into my zone to make me feel comfortable. Yeah. So I listen to the same songs I walk out to.
What do you walk out to?
Ooh, I usually like a lot of Tupac.
You don't have just one?
Usually 2 songs. If it's 2 important moments, it's Can't See Me by Tupac. Okay. Or No Sunshine by DMX. Same song as Anderson Silva walked out to.
Nice.
So like I said, I like to listen to music that takes me back to like when I first discovered MMA. Somewhere where I'm calm. Remember when I just learned it and I was just free. Yeah. I think that's where I experienced most of my kickboxing success. I was free. I didn't really know what I was doing, but that's what made me good. I was just out there just throwing it. And so I want to get back to those moments. And so I listen to those music. But once I crawl into the cage, I have a routine where I crawl into the cage every single time I fight. Once I crawl, that's it. Yeah. Everything gets silent. And now it's like, okay, it's go time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this guy isn't your friend. You're here to win. This guy, you want to get your family better to where they need to be. Yeah. You believe in that. And so this guy's in your way. Yeah. You know, listen to your coaches still. Don't be like just like a juggernaut.
Yeah. You got to compose yourself.
And it's still hard. There's been a couple fights where I was like, I'm just slug it out here. But still just try to stay in my frame of mind. But no, it's go time. It's warrior time.
Who has been one of your most important inspirations in the MMA or kickboxing, or who is it? Anderson Silva, you talk about him a lot.
Yes, I'd say Anderson Silva, but people are going to say it's crazy. Why I started kicking the way I do is because of Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat. So I was a huge fan of Mortal Kombat, and I was playing Mortal Kombat 9. I'll never forget it. And then I'm seeing him do all these crazy kicks and stuff, and I'm like, how cool would it be, you know, if I can learn this? So I go on YouTube, and I look up this guy. I'll never forget the name. It's called Quan Kicker, like Taekwondo. I don't know if he still has a channel or not. But I started learning my kicks from there. Yeah. Like, I had this old football pad. My sisters would hold it outside. And so I started kicking there. So honestly, kind of like Anderson. Yeah. but Johnny Cage as well.
That's cool.
I first started, but when I started picking up MMA, I started learning more. Dominic Cruz, Demetrius Johnson. But I want to say originally like Johnny Cage, Anderson Silva.
That's cool, man. I love talking about MMA. I can talk about this all day.
This, I was going to tell you, this guy right here, I mean, if there's an MMA fight going on, you're going to get a text message, hey, I'm cooking out, y'all come over. And he can, I mean, sit there and knows the stats and knows the fighters and know. And me, I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm like, who is this? So
Exactly.
Me, I'm the guy that watches it, and you ask me, like, who do you think's going to win? I'm like, blue trunks.
He looks bigger. He looks bigger.
I like the color red. He's wearing red trunks. He's probably going to win.
Yeah. I did want to ask you a question, though.
Yes.
How does it feel like walking in a room and knowing you could probably kill everybody in there?
Everyone asks me this question.
Bro, you must have some kind of like, hey,
You like it.
Don't mess with me.
It depends on your frame of mind. Okay, so like, you do kind of get that sense at times. I'm not gonna lie. Like, especially like if you're drinking or something. For at homies, you're watching fights and you're just looking around like, these guys don't know. You know, I don't know. You know, I could double leg this guy right here. You know, I could suplex him on his cranium. You know what? I mean, but what to me, when you start fighting, you really start taking it serious. Like, kind of have that peaceful frame of mind where you're like, all right, I can hurt this guy, so let me walk away. You know what I mean? Like, but for me, I'm like, I can hurt you, but I don't want to hurt my hands. Like, I don't want to go into training tomorrow and have to explain to my coach. Yeah, I fought a guy at a bar and I hurt my knuckles, so don't throw this side.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but once you're a pro, aren't your like hands lethal weapons or whatever? Is that that's false?
I think that is false. I mean, even if it is, I'm not registering anything. Look, you're gonna find out as soon as I put my hands on you.
I think I heard that.
No. I have heard that before. Yeah. Like I said, I've never heard of anything like it.
Yeah.
If you're going to come to someone and fight, then that's that. Whether they have something or not. In my opinion, I was like, whether they have hands or not, some are going to have a knife, some are going to have a weapon. So
that's true.
If you're going to be prepared to fight, be prepared to fight, regardless of what they know. Because you don't know what they know, but you also don't know what they have.
Did you grow up doing any like street fights or anything?
Of course.
That? Yeah, it's cool. That's cool. The park.
There was he didn't hesitate at all. No hesitation.
That's why I transitioned. I feel like my parents were so cool with it. They're like, okay, like, just get it all out in the gym. Go wrestle someone because
that's awesome.
Yes, I think my senior year was my only year I went without a fight. Like, I fought every single year. Like, I don't know. When I kind of got that's why I liked MMA. It gave me that maturity and discipline. I was like, you don't have to fight all the time. Like, just because someone said something to you,
that's what I was going to ask. Is once you get into something like this, whether you grew up fighting or not, that was kind of just whatever.
Yes.
Once you get into this though, and it's what you do, and you want to make it a career. How hard and I mean, maybe not hard, but how important is it to work on that temper, right? Because I feel like everyone's different, but there's some people who, like you mentioned earlier, if you walk in a room and you can take care of everyone, you're gonna, but there's some people who know that, and like you said, they know, oh man, just ignore the talk. But I want to ask, how important is that, and how was that for you? And we talk about your inspiration into getting into fighting, right? And it's your family and everything. Is there something else? Because I know for some fighters, it's like, hey, I went through this as a kid or when I was young, and I've always just had a fight. I've always had a fight. Yeah, I got bullied. Is there any other inspiration, and how important is it to really control that temper once you get into this and want to make it a career?
Well, of course, there's always another inspiration. But first with the temper, I think controlling your temper is essential, not just in fighting, but in life. And so to me, that's why it makes it easier. If I can't control myself with a random person I don't know just coming up to me drunk, blobbering in my face. If I can't control myself in that situation, how can I control myself in life when something happens? I get a flat tire, this guy cuts me off. Something happens with my child or my mom that upsets me, and I'm just going to snap and react. Because when you snap and react, like, things go wrong. Even in a fight, if I snap and react wrong, I'm going to get put to sleep. And so I think it helps me because before I think of my temper in fighting, I think of my temper in life. And so when I start tackling that temper in life and controlling it and learning how to be calm and just kind of, because you're going to get mad. No matter what, you're going to get mad in life. It's okay to get mad and upset, and be like, but just like still controlling it and maintaining your boundaries and your own morals. And so if I can do that in life, then the fighting follows. And so that's why I start. In order to control my temper and fighting and stuff like that, I have a child.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful daughter, and that's the main thing I think when I'm going to fight this guy. Like, okay, I don't know what you have.
My kid,
I don't know what I'm going to do to you. You know what I mean? I can slam you on your head, and you'll never be the same ever again without me even trying to. Just trying to get you off me, and now I'm in trouble, and people are looking at me. And now I'm in jeopardy of not seeing my child or my family. Why would I do that?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
you got to smart.
So that helps with that. And as far as inspiration goes, I was homeless. We were homeless at the age of 8. That's why I moved to Borger for a little bit. And so I know how it is to have nothing, and I don't want to leave this earth without, leaving my family something. Even though I know my family, especially now in this new generation, I have a lot of sisters. I have over 9 sisters.
Oh, wow.
And so...
You only have TV?
Yes. I mean, my dad had TV in multiple places, apparently. He had a lot of TVs. And so with that, it just kind of drives that inspiration when I see them growing and, just living the life that I live and just certain things like that. I want to just do better for them. Like I said, I have a lot of sisters, and they're all athletic. Yeah. I want to be able to make every basketball game.
Nice.
I want to be able to make every single track meet. With my other sister who helped me with training, I was able to help her in wrestling. So that's cool. You mentioned coaching and stuff. That's where I get that from. I was coaching my sister. From when she ran track, we get like an empty paper towel roll and shovel with tissue and tape it up, and we do handoffs outside. You
that's
know what
awesome.
I mean? And so I just think that's where my inspiration comes from. Really, like I really, really want them to have that life that I didn't have.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing is, the more I see them grow, like I have a sister who just graduated from North Texas. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
awesome.
So they're already just blooming into their own selves. My whole family is, and I'm starting to notice that right now. But still, I still want to leave that legacy behind for them. So that's where it comes from.
That's awesome.
That is
That's
awesome.
Good. It's just important. You always wonder why people do what they do, right? And we always talk about it on here. It's always bigger than yourself. There's always a reason that you do these things. So to hear that and to know that is awesome. And I want to talk about, you were talking about your intro earlier when you crawl into the ring. There's a clip I think you shared on Facebook about it, right?
Yes.
And we're going to have to get that clip. We'll put it in the podcast as well. His intro is awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary, but it's awesome.
What do you do?
Man, like I said, as soon as I get in there, like when I hope they're in there first, that's why I love being the second fighter that walks in. Like when I'm in red corner, it just makes it better.
Yeah.
So I can see them in the ring when I crawl in. It's like, oh man,
Stare them down.
Yeah, just like I'm hunting or something. You know what I mean? Like crawling and hunting in the grass. So as soon as I walk, it's like I said, everything's silent and it's like kill him.
Yeah.
Just go across there and take his head off. Like don't worry about anything else. Be smart. Be focused. Be technical. But do what you need to do. Press forward and be smart. So I think that's like the switch. The crawl is important. It is so important to me. Like I will never take a fight and not crawl. Yeah. As soon as I crawl in, the switch is complete.
You're in the zone.
That's awesome. Dude. Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. It looks like you're putting your full heart into this.
Yes.
What outside the ring though? What are some hobbies that you like to do besides train and fight
and beat people up?
Yeah.
Man, I love to cook. I'm a huge cooker. I love to cook. I want to be. I wanted to be a chef when I was younger. Still want to own a restaurant eventually. So I love to cook, jogging, gaming. Of course.
What do you game at?
I game at home. I play like the basic games. I'm old school.
Yeah.
And so I have like a little arcade stand. I love like the Pac-Mans, Galagas,
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter. But if I'm online with my friends, Call of Duty. Nice. Maybe some Mortal Kombat online. I really don't play too much online anymore because I really do try to focus on training.
Yeah.
But when my daughter's here, that's when I do my most gaming. So I want to say, gaming, cooking, eating.
Oh
my gosh. Listen, like I'm such a huge fan of restaurants and going this place, and my daughter loves buffets, so it makes it worse. And that's the worst thing. So like, I'm surprised this weight cut's going pretty good. So we had a lot of buffets. At one point, we went to like 3 buffets within 2 days.
What's your like one of your favorite meals after the fight when you're like, oh, okay, and now I can. What do you usually go for?
Long John Silver's. Each and every time. I need me 2 chicken pieces, 2 fishes, a lot of hush puppies, fries, ketchup, all of it. And I might go back for some more chicken. I'm so sad that Amarillo got rid of the Long John Silver's.
I was about to say that. We don't have one here.
Yes. And so In-N-Out Burger's pretty good. That's my second. If wherever I'm at doesn't have a Long John's because the town is terrible. Just kidding, Amarillo. I love y'all. But if they don't have that, I'll go to In-N-Out. I love a good In-N-Out burger. Like, that's pretty good as well. I love their sauce. But Long John Silver's number 1 every single time. Every time.
Nice.
So I just always wonder.
I don't think I haven't had it that much. It's that good. A lot of people talk about it.
Yeah,
Long John
my
Silver's?
family loved it.
Yeah.
Man. I I wasn't too big of a fan of it, but I don't. I'm not gonna say it because he's gonna beat me up.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just
Don't beat him up.
flying me over the table.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, man. I just always wonder, like, what would be your first go to? Everyone's so different. Some
Mine would
people
probably be like pizza or something.
like something just kind of
Yeah.
a burger, a greasy
Well,
burger.
whenever I watch the fights and like that's what they're eating, like
Yeah.
all these UFC fighters,
Pizza.
bro. That
It's
make it
the
look
oil.
so good.
It's the oil. Like, it's like after you make weight, after fight, you crave that oil
Yeah.
for some reason. So they're right. Like, that's why I say a burger. And I mean like a triple burger, you know, like extra pickles, some jalapenos, like extra sauce. Like, I'm just dripping out of my hands. Like, that is the best. And I don't know why. I tell people that. So that is true. Like, after a fight, you're just like, I want some grease, like some video tacos, like a taco truck. Get like 3 orders of barbacoa tacos. Like,
Well, every meal I eat like I just got done fighting, so I can't even. I crave it all, man. I crave it all.
Food is good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so we got to talk about the food. I mean, like I said, I love food. Food is great, but I wish that I could eat and just be disciplined as you. Even this guy, he's very disciplined.
I'm trying.
He does that 75 hard. I'm like, I'll do 75 seconds and work. But I want to talk to you about. So we asked you earlier when you got into this. This is a long-term plan. Like, you want to make this a career, and you're putting your heart and your passion into this.
Yes.
Dedication. It's awesome. It's all there. Now, let me ask you though, what does the next maybe 5-year or 10-year plan look for you moving forward?
Well, the longer I look at this sport, within honestly the sport of combat, between Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, any type of combat sport, I realize like it's longevity. How much fight you get in that puts you to the status that you need to be.
Yeah.
Like Rotang, I don't know if you guys are a fan of Rotang, the Muay Thai fighter. He fights for one championship. Over 300 fights?
Oh, wow.
He has like, these guys have like 300 plus fights.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing they don't care if they lose these fights. They just want that experience in there. So I guess my mentality kind of switched a little bit to that point where I'm 27. In 5 years, I want to have as much fights as possible, you know, within my safety. You know, if I'm hurt and stuff, I'm not just going to go in there if I'm tweaked up or something.
Yeah.
But I want to get as much experience as possible in the ring. Because I know that's where I'm going to be at my best. You look at these guys like Max Holloway. You know, Max Holloway, when he started, he was kind of on and off. Same with Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
They were just on and off. They really weren't
Yeah.
those stable of fighters. But through their experience, through as many fights that they took, all the sparring rounds, like they just got to that point. Same with Sean Strickland, as you're seeing now. So I'm like, no, the more I kind of get into fighting, the more I start to focus on those 5 years. I'm like, just fight, just learn. Be disciplined, be motivated, and don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about, maybe I might lose, because I feel like that messes with a lot of fighters in their mind. Like, that's where they want to stop. I don't want to lose again in front of everybody. I don't want to lose, but it's kind of like you kind of have to switch it in a way and be like, I have to keep learning. And then once you get to that point where those guys, like I said, Max Holloway, and they're at that level, man, they're just beating everybody, even with 11 losses, 10 losses. Like, they don't care.
Yeah, and they're still killers.
Yep. So
Champions. Well, Charles Oliveira is the perfect example.
Exactly.
He was losing for a long ass time, and then finally something clicked.
Snapped it. So 5 years, I'm hoping to get as much fights as possible. Of course, I want to get a belt, want to get to that next level, but not really too focused on it. Just focus on getting that experience and knowing eventually it's going to come. So in 5 years, hopefully I'm there.
Yeah, you get there, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Keep pushing hard.
And in 5 years, you're gonna have multiple belts. I'm calling it right now.
Thank you.
You better give some tickets.
Put it out there.
You're getting to the
with that-
UFC.
Tickets and Long John Silvers. I got you. Tickets and long, just so y'all can know.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Especially you. You were hesitant.
I'll go. We're gonna go. We can't wait to go watch you make your UFC debut. We know it's coming. Whether it's UFC or anything that gives you that opportunity, like you said, to learn. Man, just knowing you since we were young, dude, I gotta say, I'm very proud of you, man.
Thank you.
I do. I keep up with you on social media, and I keep up with what you're doing, and it's just once you're locked in, man. You've just always been super athletic, man. I'm proud of you, man. You really have overcome a lot, and the inspiration behind what you do, it's awesome. I want to ask though, with these fights that you're doing, what is probably one of your most favorite venues that you've fought at?
One of my most favorite, automatically, it was Rage in the Cage. I can't remember the number, but I fought a guy named Hunter Smith, who's real cool. He's a good wrestler. So it was the first, college wrestler I fought, and everything was perfect. Like everyone I wanted in the crowd was in the crowd. Like the warm up was good, the walk was perfect. Like everything was, and then even when I went out there, I just felt untouchable. You know, everything he threw, I just seen it, and I got a first round finish, and it was just a vicious finish, vicious TKO. And I just remember jumping over the cage and just seeing everyone, and I think that was the most perfect moment, just because all my family was there.
Yeah.
You know?
Where was it at?
This is in was it in Law? No, I think it was Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City?
I believe this one was in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, because Rage in the Cage, they do. That's where they're from, right?
Yes.
It's Oklahoma City. Yeah, they've seen some in Shawnee. I think that
Shawnee,
they've had.
Lawton. I've had a couple in Lawton as well.
Yeah.
But definitely my favorite. But on top of that, Oklahoma City, there's so much you can do.
Yeah.
And in Oklahoma, the liquor store is open till 6 p.m. on Sundays.
Oh,
So,
is it?
you know,
They
so I mean, if you get out of your fight late, you know, that Saturday, the next morning heading back to Amarillo, you got any, you know, banged up bruises or something, you get you some Crown on the way back. So I don't drive back, you know, like I have someone drive me back. So I'm just like, you know what I mean? So I love fighting in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
But I think that was my biggest, I love that. That was such a happy moment for me. Like the finish was perfect.
Yeah.
The celebration was perfect. The interview was perfect. And right after that, I got my title fight for the amateur division. So definitely my favorite fight.
That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've always wondered.
Yes.
Did you ever fight in college? I mean, do a wrestle in college or anything like that?
No, here's a crazy story.
Did you go to state? What's some of your achievements?
So, and I really got really good at wrestling, but my main focus was always MMA, and I knew that.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I just got very good at wrestling my junior year in high school. Like still just a hobby for me until my junior year. I won regionals, and that's before state. So then I was like, okay, like I'm pretty decent at this if I put my mind to it. And then next year I had a really good year. I broke a lot of records, placed nationally, placed in state. And so at that point, I got second to state that year.
Where'd you go to high school?
Went to Randall.
Randall,
Moved to
okay.
Randall, and I think that's what made
They
it
have a
cooler.
good wrestling team,
They
right?
do.
Yeah.
That's what made it perfect. You know, Coach Q and stuff down there. I still message them every now and then. You know, his wife and him, and you know, his family, his daughters, and all of them. They're really close to me. I really like those guys. And so when I was wrestling there, I was really good my senior year, and then I originally signed to Wayland Baptist.
Okay.
But they told me if you're going to wrestle here, you can't do your kickboxing tournaments because if you get hurt in kickboxing,
You can't wrestle.
you can't wrestle. And so for me, it was a tough decision. But ultimately, I was like,
Yeah.
I snuck away and did a kickboxing tournament. You know, and I forgot I had my coach on Facebook. And so I posted the kickboxing tournament. You know, I won it. And he liked it, and I was like, no. And then he messaged me. He's like, we have to have a talk. And so basically, we just kind of had a split there where I was like, well, I don't want to stop this. You know, I don't want to stop kickboxing, and I get you. But wrestling is in my life. MMA and kickboxing is.
So he got to wrestle with X.
X
Yes.
and
And Speedy.
Speedy,
Yeah.
X,
Nice.
all those guys when they were young,
Yeah.
they were babies, no hair. You know, now they had long flowing hair. You know, in their senior years, I wrestled them. They're all bald and stuff. They're awesome. Those kids. You know, I always tell people if you want to get your best wrestling rounds in, go to high school.
Yeah.
You know, these kids were, and I love that I met them and their fathers and their family. Like, 'cause they gave me just a new inspiration when it came to wrestling.
They're older than you, or you were?
I'm older than them.
Okay.
I'm much older than them. But I was wrestling a shorter time period than them. But seeing these guys came in and like. With X's dad, Joe, he gave me a ride to my first Greco state championship and freestyle state championship, you know? So, like, just being around those guys that were around that sport. And I think that's important even for MMA. You get that discipline, that structure, and how they do it and how they were raised. And it just kind of, you just pick off of everybody as you go. So, yes, I loved it.
That's awesome, man.
That's good to know, man. Just everything you've done. Well, hey, we've had a lot of fun, and Pedro's like, I could talk to this guy all day.
I had another question. You said you have a daughter.
Yes.
How old is she?
She is 7 years old, going on
man.
30.
That's a good age, right
Going
there.
on 33, man. You know?
Yeah, and you single? You
Of course. I mean, if you're looking, no, just kidding. Hold up now. You better take me to go get a Big Mac first or something.
Long John Silver's.
Oh, yeah, Long John Silver's. But no, I am single.
Yeah.
So it's just me, my baby, and my dog.
Okay.
You know, and it's, you know, this summer especially, we had so much fun this summer.
Yeah.
She's just going into her own person. She loves fighting just like me.
Yeah.
And that's what people always ask. They're like, is your daughter a friend? No. She loves watching me fight. She'll look up my fight. She knows how to spell my name.
Yeah.
So she'll pull up my fights. I'll wake up and my fights are on the TV. Like, she's looking them up. She's
awesome.
like, he hit you, you know? Like, I mean, like, so she loves watching me grapple. When I go do my boxing workouts at Legends Boxing with Martine, she's up there. She wants to hit the bag. She wants to step in the ring. So she's very like that. She's very supportive of me, and I like that.
Yeah.
It kind of helps me, too. Like, she even runs my sprint workout sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'll do a sprint down and back, and she'll give me my break. She'll look at her little fake watch, you know, and then
That's awesome.
go, you know, tell me to go.
I
and
bet
back.
she's a big inspiration to you. Yeah.
She is. So she's amazing. She's really the real reason why I can get up and like do this.
So being an MMA fighter, like, what about the chicks? They hit you up or?
Yeah, I mean,
This guy.
yes. And I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, yes. And it's always like, so you box, so you box. That's how they start off always. And I'm like, basically, like, yeah. And then it's like, well, I want to learn how to box, and so, keep training. It's always starts keep training me, like, So, but to be honest with you, like it does, but my favorite are the ring girls. And if it's between us, my favorite are the ring girls, but you definitely do get people that hit you up, and especially because after the fights, everyone's drunk. You have girls just try to kiss you on the cheek, kiss you as you walk out. Good job. You're like, hey, some of our dimes. You just gotta whoa, this one okay, but it comes with it. You still gotta get that discipline. I still got to, but I indulge it in a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Still a man.
Have your fun, brother.
Yes, I'm young. I'm in my prime. I'm in my prime right now in all aspects of life.
Yeah, that's good, bro.
But yes,
I like that.
It's just you got a bunch of you're a character, man. This has been fun.
Yes, I enjoyed y'all. I appreciate y'all coming out here.
Yeah, this has been fun. This is what it's all about. I definitely before you leave here, I'm gonna pull up some clips. I want you to see some of his fights, man.
We'll watch it this weekend too.
Of course.
Yeah, because we can you can stream it, right?
Yes. It's going to be on, what is it, Triller?
Triller
TV, the Triller app.
Nice.
XFN 395.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Triller.
Well, man, so that's we know you're going to go in there and handle business. But like I said, this has just been fun, and man, we got to get you back on here. We'll make it to some fights. We got to get some more. Man, just hit me up. I used to get footage of him doing his trainings and stuff because it gives me some good content for sure.
The best footage.
He's good. He's good.
Well, I want to end it with this. This is my favorite thing to ask, and you've given us a lot of good insights to really learn, those who are interested in what you do, that are fans of what you do, to really learn what the mind of a fighter, right? What goes on during the camps, before and after, what's the inspiration?
Yes.
So this question I'm going to ask you, though, that you've coach some young kids, you still do, and you get to just spar with people, get your sparring partners, but you know that there's someone that wants to do what you do. They want to make this a career. They come up to you, they're like, hey, I want to get into this. I'm a big fan of you. I see what you're doing. Or they just want to get into maybe some other kind of sport, right? Yes. What is that advice you'd give to them? A young kid comes up to you, or even someone older that might even just be our age, right? We're the same age. Yeah, he wants to know. Pedro comes up to you and wants to get a title fight next week. He comes up to you. Somebody comes up to you and says, I want to get into this. What is that advice you would give them?
Well, the first things first is to be okay with the sense of failure. Like you're not going to be as good as you want to be at first. Yeah. You're going to have to lose. Like you have to be okay. And it sounds like cliche, but you'd be amazed that so many people started and they get just discouraged. They lose a fight. They lose, they're not winning as much in training, which is crazy to me, but they don't feel like they're getting that much better, and they just give up on themselves. Never give up on yourself. Throughout the losses, like just get better. Like I said, look at the examples of fighters with multiple losses, and those guys are really considered like the GOATs. The greatest. Mike Tyson didn't go out on wins. People still consider him one of the greatest boxers. You have to be okay with losing. Second thing is stay motivated. Always try to stay motivated, stay disciplined, stay focused on what you want to do, and remember why you're doing it. And and you'll be successful. And the last thing, I think I want to mix two things. One is make sure you're at the right gym. Whatever gym makes you comfortable. Whatever gym you feel like you're getting better at, go there. Don't go anywhere that makes you uncomfortable, because you're going to get better at where you're comfortable at. 100% of the time, you have friends and people that text you, hey, where were you today? Hey, you need a ride today? Hey, man, I love that triangle you did today. Like, that's going to help you. So be around that type of gym. And then same thing with a promotion. That's why I kind of wanted to put those together. Like, be around a promotion. If you are going to fight big, that's the same way. Hey, are you okay? Like, did everything go good for you? Did you have any problems? Like, they're going to care about it. And lastly, this is the biggest thing. Be okay with people talking. Yeah. People are going to talk no matter. You watch the Olympics. Everyone watches the Olympics. If you go to the comments, you're going to find at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people talking crap on someone that had a gold medal. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. People who've never stepped in the ring, who've never put on gloves, who've never stepped in a cage, are going to talk crap. Yeah. They're going to look up your records. They're going to look up your fights. Be okay with that. Have tough enough skin to know I'm a fighter. You know what I mean? I wanted myself on the stage. Be okay that, sometimes I'm at the top of the mountain and I beat this guy and he's feeling like how I am when I lose and when we switched up. So I think those are the most important things. Be okay with losing. Be comfortable, whether that's an organization or whether that's your gym, be motivated and don't be afraid to lose.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I like it.
It's good to know that.
Yes.
Well, man, we appreciate, like I said, all the insights he's given us, really letting us know the mind of a fighter. Got me pumped up, man. Go hit the bag after this. Well, everybody, it's Hustlers Horizon Podcast, episode 23, with Brakenden Killa Freeman.
Yes, sir.
Fighting this Friday in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Man, we cannot wait to see what you do and the many more great things he does. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this. You can catch this episode. It'll be on YouTube, Facebook, and we'll have the episodes released on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. Again, Hustlers Rising Podcast, the podcast where we hustle up, level up, shift the mindset to build a better us and build a better business. We will see you next episode, but for now, enjoy this one.
Let's go.